ID, folks. Folks, welcome back to the four most exciting letters in sports entertainment. It is the NFQL as your Buffalo Bills world to take on the Dallas Cowboys in a crucial late season matchup here in the 2023 season sim brought to you by Grantwick Gaming. I'm Maniac from Trainwreck Sports, joined in the booth as always by the CEO of the Sox. You already know, Dan Gambino. Special guest. We locked him down. It took about half the budget. New York Upstate, Syracuse.com's Matt Parrino. Matt, thank you for joining us tonight, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm watching the feed here at my monitor, and I just saw a couple of schmoes as the commentators. You couldn't like edit that to get some of our headshots here.
That's like the pre team, like how the schmoes like Tony Dungy and co.
Never mind, I see me.
There you are. You're on the TV. You're on
Look
the TV.
I can call my mom.
Someone tell Mama Parrino Matt made it. Man, are you letting your eyes get blinded by the limelight of this matchup? We need a big win here against Dallas.
I was telling Matt on the pregame, I'm wearing actually my Thanksgiving shirt from being there. I'm getting a lot of emotions right now. I'm having that feeling like we're going to walk into Jerry World, take another one from them as long as we can hang on to the football, Maniac.
You got to hang on to the football, and I'll tell you what, we'll be hanging on to those giveaways as far as the shades are concerned when the offense is out there. More on that in just a minute, but we are kicked off. We are underway. Let's get those comments in. First Bills touchdown will get you. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say the S word. Let's take a look at Dak Prescott's stats right there. You see the year he's having over a 67% completion percentage. Clearly, that $30+ million deal they gave him was worth it. I mean, it'll be pretty intense when we see what he ends up getting, gentlemen.
I think he did the right thing by holding out and not signing anything to see what happened. Oh, boy. If he keeps doing this, the Bills are in trouble. First play goes to the house. That is not good, Maniac.
Wow, welcoming Matt to the stream in style. I mean, let me just ask a question. When was the last time the McDermott defense allowed a 65-yard plus play? I
mean, none come to mind in the last 2 years. I think there was one big play. But you told me before we got on here, this version of the McDermott passing defense is not really locking things down. Ranked 32nd in the league this season. Big plays seem to be a little bit of a bugaboo. And, man, they're in a tough spot here. Opening play of the game, down 7-0 on the road against the Cowboys. Looking nothing like the game in real life last year in 2019. But I will say, Dak Prescott actually had a sneaky good game in that game. It was just that they did what they do. They bent, but they didn't break. And and now, I mean, this defense in this game, they're going to have to do a little bit better here and shut things down, let Josh Allen and company get going. I'm excited to see what this offense looks like.
No doubt, very sneaky good fantasy game last year for Dak Prescott. I don't believe he had any interceptions, but he did have a couple fumbles, I know. But, 350 yards and 2 TDs. I mean, that'll get it done on the fantasy side of things. It's easy to forget that with what a big win it was for the Bills. Speaking of big wins, look at that big flex. There you see the completion percentage, Matt. Almost 80%. I mean, is it even fathomable?
It's not fathomable. Let's be honest. I mean,
it's beyond fathom.
That's just kind of that's Madden goofiness to the nth degree. But no, I do think that I'm expecting the pass percentage, completion percentage, to be above 60
and it's going the other way. We have a strong first 2 plays from scrimmage. Someone tell me that guy was down. Like a Pittman on the reception ended up getting hit right away and fumbled. And as of right now, the Cowboys are saying it's their ball, set to take over. I don't know if I saw a football move there.
I don't know. He turned. He caught it and turned. We talked about ball security for a brief moment. It's been Achilles' heel for this team over the past 5 weeks.
Can I say something about that play design? I mean, what was going on? It was like 2 receivers, like, hand in hand. They were running a 3-legged race. Matthew Manzella, Parrino in the house. That's right. We broke the budget. Let's go. Shout out to Parrino fam. The kids, the interns are probably running around right now. Caitlin's holding it all together as Matt just laughs like a maniacal madman.
My daughter's actually got her a new purse, so she's walking around the bedroom flaunting it, showing what's up.
Okay.
My little one.
And her new purchase,
right?
No matter what you do. I mean, like if you get a new pair of code socks, like you might just walk around risky business style in them around the house. It's a way to break them in. I'm not speaking from experience, but it's a good way to do it.
We need to give a pair away. I think we should give a pair away. I think.
Okay, well, let's give one away on the next offensive drive. Let's get socks, or let's get some shades up there. We get a turnover, a fumble, or recovery, or a pick. Name the player. Turnover shades. In the chat, let's go. Comment it. Comment the player you think is going to get the fumble recovery. Comment the player you think is going to get the interception here to keep the Dallas Cowboys on the board. Big third down here. Not a lot of time to do it. I didn't leave a lot of time as far as this drive's concerned. This third down's not picked up. But it is. And the Cowboys are inside the Code Sox red zone, Dan. Not good. Not good.
They're not the team we want in the Code Sox red zone. Let's see if the defense can stifle them and bend but not break here.
And if you're following along, if you like this Madden Sim action, I mean, even though we're not off to the best start, if you like these giveaways, if you like this action, make sure you're following along discord.me/Bratwick. That's where all the talk, that's where all the, that's where it goes down, plain and simple. 1st and 10. Quick hitter. Ooh, Dak throwing into a little zone traffic there. That's one of my favorite players, Matt. In the 2023 season, he's really coming to his own. Safety, number 30, Bubba Bolden.
Bubba Bolden. Big stick.
But no, I mean, that's the great thing. These guys are all real players. So we're talking about, hypothetical. He's at Miami right now. Could he be a Bill in a couple of years? I mean, I would be beyond ecstatic because I've already seen him play a couple successful seasons.
Not only that, but some people in the chat would be ecstatic because they've already bought his uniform, already bought his jersey.
That was incredible. Both the play on the run by Ezekiel Elliott and the fact that someone got the Bubba Bolden jersey. Get those comments in, folks. Ed Oliver from Matthew Manziel. Dak, he's got happy feet. Going to the end zone, touchdown. Is that Jason Witten? Jason Witten Jr. at this point? No, it's Uzma.
I was going to say, if that's Jason Witten in 2023, I mean, that's some zombie type stuff.
They have little wheels on the side, like training wheels, to make sure it didn't fall down.
What if Jerry Jones signs Des Bryant and then takes his legs and puts them on Jason Witten's body with his upper body and head? I think that you might have the ultimate Cowboys receiver at this point, and I think I would not be surprised to see Jason Witten cyborg playing in 2023.
So the last couple of years, Maniac, what's the largest deficit that this Bills team has come back from in the
Well, I will say 14-0 3 minutes in is definitely pushing it. I will say as well that in the 2020 AFC Championship in Denver, they were down 28-6 11 minutes in.
Wow.
So that gives you and of course our fans will remember the legendary Jake Fromm. They actually went on a little bit of a run, that 13-0 run to get it to 28-20. Capped off by a Jake Fromm fake field goal, which I went nuts during. That everybody really hated how nuts I went during it. Here we go. Josh Allen and co coming back out of the field. I mean, Josh Allen's done his job so far in this game. 1 for 1. Have to take the positives.
Whoa,
that's not positive. I'm positive he just got crushed.
Got some protection breakdowns. All right, run through the line for me here? Deion Dawkins, I see, is at left tackle. Who else do they got
I'm
there?
pretty sure Dawkins is the last man standing. They've got named Risner.
Okay.
They have somebody else, but Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they basically got rid of everybody last year, if not the year before.
Everybody walked due to comments that were given by Virtual McDermott. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Right
Virtual McDermott went off in the
left.
post game.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Dalton Reisner. I talked to him at the Senior Bowl last year. He's with the Denver Broncos right now, but I thought he was a perfect fit for the Bills. So that's an interesting get a couple years later.
There's receiver number 86, Brew McCoy. And favorite right there. Gosh, I could break it down. He's going to run right into the sack. No, he's going to swing out of it. 30, 35, 40. He's got to go ahead. Plunge. He can't do it.
Oh, he got stiffened up a little bit there at the 40.
4th and 1. I mean, there's no way they go for this, but yeah. So Brew McCoy get drafted yet? No, he is currently still at USC. Okay.
Arnold asked.
Great looking young guy.
Anybody watch Family Feud last night?
I mean, who hasn't seen that clip by today? Come on.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I didn't really know where he was going with that though. Like I wouldn't have gone from Hammer to that.
But that's why it's so great to me, because he basically decided he was gonna give up, and versus just be like a ham sandwich. Like he's like, well, I might as well say penis. Like if I got like a freaking guess. Like that's where I see his mindset, because you can see him just like. When he says the hammer's not available, he wasn't thinking screwdriver. He wasn't thinking, power drill or something like that. But oh my god, that is an all-time moment. I'm sorry. Other legends just don't do it like our legend. Goats stay goats. I mean, they're calling it early the greatest Family Feud moment of all time.
Yeah,
this was early.
I mean, I've never seen anybody win. I've never seen anybody get 5 number 1 answers in the first round of the Fast Money. I don't know if that's ever happened. I guess that would be the only thing theoretically, moment-wise, versus and of course, you have Steve Harvey. I don't know, how live is that live TV. Obviously, the audience, it's kind of like Saturday Night Live, obviously. Just the fact that, in the middle of Fast Money, which is, the most intense, time-driven part of Family Feud, he just moved on for, 3 seconds, and he just realized he could not get past that moment.
Yeah, and I think they did him pretty dirty, too. That was not a tape. That was a taped episode, right?
Yeah, that had to be taped. There's no way they're letting Irvin Smith and those guys on Hot Mics Live.
Right, if I was Booth,
that was an incredible throw by Prescott.
Wow.
Right now, I don't want to be upset. I don't want to upset anyone out there. But Dak Prescott is pacing 1,300 yards passing in this game. We're halfway through the first quarter. I mean, if I wanted to do that in the first 20 seconds, he was basically pacing 40,000 yards. Let's see. I mean, that was a good throw. You got to give credit where credit's due, but it's only 14-0. As we've seen, Dan, a lot of things can happen. A lot of things can swing. I think they've played. Oh, fumble!
There's a fumble.
Big play.
Get it going. It's going the other way.
He's gone.
Yeah, that's Levi. That's Levi Wallace. He's not gonna
doubling his
take
fumble
that back
recovery
to
total. Let's go. Anybody comment Wallace out there? I'll give them to you. Ooh, Chrissy D. All right, Chris Douglas. I know you've won before, but if you want a pair of shades, just shoot me in the DMs. I got you. Chris Douglas locks in Wallace. Mr. Big Sack. It's a fumble recovery.
Did you break the curse? Is the curse broken?
I mean, I think that it's reversed now. Oh no,
Booth review.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Don't do it to me. Oh no, he was very much down already.
Oh, they're doing it to you.
Oh, it's out. Oh no, it was so close. It was so close.
Not that lucky.
That is not indisputable. It's not indisputable, Bill, whatever your name is, Vinovich. Oh, they overturned it. Oh, that's brutal. I already gave him the glasses and everything too.
You gotta give him
the glasses. No, the glasses got overturned too. I'm sorry. I go with the NFQL.
I do not believe in that. I feel like you offered it. You even went out there and said, jump in my DMs.
Matt, when the ref signals touchdown, and then they review the play, Josh Allen doesn't go up to the ref and say, "Hey, you offered the touchdown." The turnover got overturned. And I'm sad. Believe me, I'm sad to see it. But we hold these fans. We have a blue collar bunch in our chat, man. These aren't millennials, Z's who are just used to getting everything. They know if they don't comment, if they don't share, if they don't do the things to qualify for the giveaway, that's that. And I mean, if it makes me a villain, that's fine. I'll be the villain of the NFQL. But I play by the book.
All right, if you really want the shades, DM me on Twitter, and I'll see what I can take care of. Because that was terrible on Maniac's part. But you know what? I'm used to that.
Oh my gosh! Now you're gonna solidify me as the villain. I'm really Draco Malfoy in this situation. You're just being Harry Potter. I don't have to be a villain. I don't have to be a villain just because you're being a hero. By the way, that was Conor McGregor's nephew. Taking the play right there.
Oh, nice. I like Chuck Keller's comment here. Start bringing Edmonds off the end. I think the Bills should really start to utilize Tremaine Edmonds as a pass rusher more in year 3.
Oh, that would be incredible if we could. Third and goal. I mean, I hate to say it, but you got to get a stop here. Good hitter, and they do right at the goal line. Okay, what is Jason Garrett doing right now on the sideline? Still the coach somehow.
Is he really?
I think in this sim he is because it didn't end 2020. You know.
Right. Wow.
It feels like so long ago that Jason Garrett was still like standing by as the Cowboys side bay while they were trying to sign Mike McCarthy. Like that was honestly, Jason Garrett had some heat when he came in as a coach. There was a lot of like hype around him, and he had a good first couple years. But that was one of the saddest things I've honestly.
This is a horrible play call. 14.
Yeah, they could have stuck on our throats for sure. Stamped on our throats, stump on our throats, stamp on our whatever. The 17-0. That's nothing, baby. Let's go. I'm still feeling good about my Bills -2 if I lock that in at Seneca Creek Casino.
Run the football a little bit. You got to get the motor going. Seems like whenever Allen uses his legs and they get motor going, better sim game.
Did Jason Walter initiate an unlicensed 69? He licensed it, but I will take it. Shadesgate. It is Shadesgate.
We didn't endorse it. Endorse it.
Yeah, I didn't use mine. We didn't hit our red button. But I will hit our red button for the offense right now. We need a play in the worst way.
Formation in there, you never know.
And as you see on the bottom of the screen, the Titans won their matchup. Oh my gosh, this 6-6.
You just run the ball.
What even just happened there?
So wait.
It's like he just got picked by a blitzing cornerback. Parrino goes sweet. It's literally like an infant is playing as the Bills right now.
This is wild. Like, is it like this every week?
I mean, this is getting pretty close to the worst for sure. I mean, one touchdown and it's there. We need to play. Here comes the Cowboys.
Playing? I thought he was injured. I saw he was injured on the pregame report that I read.
I think he was nicked up, but I believe he's playing. There's the remainder of the schedule. Okay, good play by our guy Robinson. The whole defensive secondary except Wallace and White are gone. Which is basically Poyer and Hyde. They both took paydays elsewhere, actually.
Yeah, you see Stephen Noble's comment, 69, 95, 34, 12, 78, 83. We need all the help we can get tonight.
I mean, I agree with him. Jason Walter, the emoji says it all. Okay, we got another stop. Let's go. I think this defense is starting to get a little bit of Uncle Mo, a little bit of momentum. They're looking at that sideline. They're looking at Josh. Josh right now is working on his golf swing. It's clearly one of his passions. Probably also holding a blowtorch. So it's his other passion. We will see. Field goal coming up here for the Cowboys. I'm worried about that blowtorch angle, by the way. I want my guy holding a blowtorch. 44-yard field goal coming up. Hold is down, kick is up, and it's good. And the over-under is looking great, courtesy of the Cowboys. Bills -2, not looking as good, because now with 3 touchdowns, they only win the game, not cover the spread. Very disappointing.
Let me ask you this much. So,
go ahead.
With the standings going on like this, I mean, when do you pull the plug on Allen? Because these last 5 games haven't been spectacular. Pull the plug?
Ooh, wow. Who's your backup? Prom?
No, we're not pulling the plug.
I don't know. The chat might start chirping. You never know. The boo birds are out there always. A stellar start, 2-3
yards. Yeah, not ideal. I mean, the fact that he threw a completion, which was fumbled, is the first thing after an 80-yard touchdown. The first play probably wasn't the best. He needs to get a couple easy completions under his belt and get going here. Is Diggs even playing? I mean, that's the real question. There's Singletary, but it's like when Diggs isn't injured in this sim, like half the time you can't even find him. Diggs is like Charizard.
Is that a Pokemon?
Yeah, Ash had Charizard, and what happened was Charizard evolved and became Charizard, and it was like too powerful for like Ash, like as a master, as a Pokemon master. So he would like call Charizard into battle, and Charizard would just come out like taking a snooze, like no urgency like whatsoever, because he had no respect for Ash as a. I'm not saying Stephon Diggs does not have respect, but as far as his power level compared with his output, very much Charizard-esque.
Remember when we used to run the football? That was fun.
I do. 3rd and 8. They got 4 men on the line. Not blitzing anybody. Allen goes to run pretty quick. He gets rid of it over the middle. We got a guy. We got a flag. It was late. There's no way that's holding. Legal hands to the face? Legal block. Okay, for Diggs. Once he caught it. Okay. By the way, one of those calls I've never seen in this game, but I won't complain about it. 1st and 10, 38-yard line, and we're going with the stretch handoff. They heard you, Dan, but only a gain of a yard for Moss the Boss. Need a FaceTime session from Abel. It's actually Dorsey, Stephen Noble.
Dable canned, by the way, Matt.
Yeah, we can't. Dable got canned after a 6-3 start. That's how far this organization has come.
And you said Josh Allen has not looked good in the last couple weeks. Maybe
25, 20, 15, 10. Down to the 4, an electric play, courtesy of Dawson Knox. Folks, if you are considering a commercial or a residential electrical project, consider our friends at Pazda Electric. 716-698-2711. Mention Trainwreck Sports or say this train never stops and get a free house surge protector. We just got a bolt of lightning from Dawson Knox. And in my mind, I'm sorry, guys, the Bills are back in this.
Look at you. The reads are so flawless. It sounds like you've been doing this for years.
Well,
it's like years.
This is the 4th season.
There you go.
These last 5 months feel like years, don't they?
Oh my gosh, that's what I'm saying. Everything in January, February feels like so long ago. 2, 1, let's get this play. Ha! Let's go, they did. Oh my god, that was pitiful. It was like there was no blocking. That was like the 2018 Bills line. I was watching the Bills-Patriots highlights from today, from 2018, when Allen played them. My goodness. And basically no time once he got the ball.
So was that a fullback run on that last play?
Yes, from the 3, which got them to the 5. 3rd and goal. I think they're going over the middle here. Tony Romo. They don't. They swing it outside into where there's like 8 defenders. Bill's Twitter will be going nuts right now.
You gotta go for it here, don't you? Or is it too
Yeah, they're
late?
gonna
a lot
kick
of
it
time.
now. They're gonna kick that.
You got 3 quarters.
I know, but the way that this defense is playing, you need some big points, and you need them quickly.
Bro.
They're going to score
So,
on defense.
They're
Speaking
gonna
of the
kick the field
fullbacks.
goal.
Oh, yeah, they're kicking a field goal. So,
Alabama.
went for it. This is Madden. Come on.
Up. It's good. Bills are on the board. And you know who's clapping? McDermott.
So, speaking of fullbacks, seeing that fullback run reminded me. I watched Thurman Thomas's Football Life the other day. It was on NFL Network, it's a really good watch. And Thurman was my guy back in the day, so I obviously checked it out. And it's amazing to me till this day. 2 fullbacks were drafted before Thurman Thomas, and he was part of arguably the greatest backfield in the history of football at Oklahoma State with Barry Sanders. So wild, dude. The way the fullback position has changed over the course of the last, 2 decades is unreal.
Oh, if you took sports decisions from the 60s, 70s, and 80s and put them under the scrutiny that they face today, I mean, I don't even know if like people back then could handle it. There's armchair GMs everywhere. I mean, I thought the Sabres got a new player. They've been talking about this Baser guy for like the last 4 days. Turns out they go to the press today and they're like, we don't even want to trade Baser. And I'm like, I thought he was already a Sabre. 2nd and 6. They hand it off in the middle. Okay, gents, this is why you kicked that field goal. You got faith in that defense. 3rd and 4. Let's get loud, chat. We got 100+ across Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Let's go. Let's get the hearts out. 3rd and 4. Went over the middle. They got it on the.
Wow.
Maniac. I'm putting it up there. Turnover drive. It's the player. Right. Tag a friend in the chat. The turnover drive. Let's get these guys willed back into getting you some socks. We're going to give you a pair of Poncho Power socks today. Sit right. If your friend comes in, they'll get a pair too.
Let's do it. Cowboys only at the 40. Bills defense still got a little bit of room here.
I guess a player, man.
Here you go, the single back. Back.
You should have guessed.
Back! It's trade day! Turnover trade! 2020's 89 takes it away from the Cowboys, and the Bills will take over at the 47-yard line.
Keller.
What is Trey White? What's his contract he's playing on? Did he sign a mega deal?
I think he's on, I want to say 5 years, 100 and between 100 and 110.
Okay.
Which is probably, Matt, what he's going to sign.
16 mil a year, 16.3 a year.
Wow, I think he's gonna get it at least. I think 18 is the floor for me. I think those. Oh, okay. Somebody's in trouble on the chat.
Yep. Everyone, be quiet. Hold your breath. I'm on parole.
Keller,
I can't imagine if you were on parole and you heard like a siren. Like, it would just be terrible. Shout out to anyone who ever been on parole, grinding out there. Bills are grinding right now. Let's get back in this game.
Chuck Keller won that takeaway drive. Get in contact with Code Sox on any of 3 of the platforms. Facebook at Code Sox, all one word. On Instagram and Twitter at Codes_Sox.
Okay, and just like that, like I said, it was those 2 Bills defensive drives where they held them to field goals. Pretty big after it became 14-0. Now with the Bills inside the 40, getting a chance to get back in this game. 2nd and 5 at the 36. Kicker over the middle. Fumble, no, he's down! Oh my gosh.
Oh, we got some breaking news.
Trayvon Diggs recovers his brother's fumble. Is that what I just saw?
Dude, the turnovers. Wow.
What is
Say breaking news, Matt?
Yeah, we got some breaking news here. Head over to NewYorkUpstate.com. Cheap plug. Ryan Talbot just dropped all of the league Buffalo Bills Madden 21 player ratings. So you can see every player rating in the game. The worst rated player on the Buffalo Bills. Number 69, Reed Ferguson at 35.
35 overall?
35 overall.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
This is the defense only rated 83.
That's wild. Madden literally doesn't think anything of this 2020 version of the Buffalo Bills. Because there are some really egregious... how is John Brown coming off of a 1,000-yard season with 6 touchdowns and only an 82?
Oh, crush him.
He's the same rating as Devin Singletary. I'm high on Singletary, but come on, what's going on here? It's a little weird. Matt Milano under an 80, Tremaine Edmonds under an 80, Deion Dawson probably going to get top 7 left tackle money. That's crazy.
Is there a 20-point difference between Mahomes and Allen? Seriously? Do you think it's a 20-point difference, Matt?
Oh, definitely not on the field.
I don't, and I actually think you go back and play those first 3 quarters of the Super Bowl, Pat Mahomes versus the San Francisco 49ers, man, that did not look like the Patrick Mahomes everybody talks about, but he went out there and had that 4th quarter, so, I mean, he's still the man. He's still MVP, and Allen has a lot of work to do. But I don't think Allen would have been out of place in that game. A lot of people talk about the Houston game and like the way that he kind of broke down. It seemed mentally at times in that game, but it's a lot to take in your first playoff game. Like the game's on the line, all of a sudden you see the momentum changing on the road. The defense gives up a couple of big plays. There's a couple of drops in that game. It plays games with you, and the hero ball. Once you're in the playoffs, like you're on the road, you got to win. I wasn't surprised that he was trying to make plays to win games, and I thought a couple people let him down. And I think Josh Allen. I'm so excited. I wish that we had like a normal season because I would have loved to have seen. And I still think the games can be normal, and maybe we'll get to. Nobody knows what that's going to look like yet, but I want to see what year 3 with not only the new pieces like Stephon Diggs and some of the other receivers, but this offensive line that now has played a year together. What's that going to look like? And so I'm a lot. If you read my stuff or follow me, you know that I'm higher on Josh than most. But yeah.
Excited to see how the line gels as well. Knowing how close they all are. I mean, you heard Josh talk about it the other day on Fourth and Forever, I think it's called, when he was on with Sanchez. How close-knit that offensive line really is and how they really, really pulled him in. And he said that Feliciano was the
Hello there. First and 10 for the Cowboys. Out of nowhere, they're crushing it now. Good drive into the Bills' territory. They're inside the 15. Play action.
Sorry
He's
about
got
that.
nowhere
Don't know
to
what
go.
happened there. But hearing him say that Lee Smith helped him out the most and kept him in check and everything else, that speaks volume on what the players do together in the off season, what they do during the week, and how they basically hold each other accountable.
Yeah, man. Feliciano constantly is mentioned among the leadership on this team, especially by Sean McDermott recently. I asked him a question about something about leadership, and the guy that he talked about on offense was Feliciano. So I think a lot of fans are talking about what this offensive line could look like this year. Darrell Williams brought in the mix, potential of maybe Cody Ford getting moved inside. I think John is pretty entrenched at that right guard spot, and obviously I think center and the two left spots are pretty set as well. I think that's going to be your offensive line. I think that Darrell Williams is going to be your kind of swing tackle / interior backup with Spencer Long. They got some depth on that offensive line now too.
And hey, defense rifling them again, timing them again. I mean, they do allow a drive, but it's a bend but don't break. They also be forced to bring them on for a field goal again. So the Bills have turned it over 3 times. They've allowed an 80-yard touchdown. They don't have a touchdown of their own. Yeah, I mean, it's not over yet.
Wow.
What was, so Matt, not to get all depressing, no training camp really this year compared with, what's been in the years past, what they've had. I mean, and me getting to experience it for the first time, even though it was only for a couple days last year, it is crazy, it's like a rock kind of like down there. Everyone is so entrenched on what's happening. Performers are kind of doing their thing, whether it's the offense, defense, the guys doing their thing on the sideline, the special team crew, the specialists obviously doing their thing. What are the parts of training camp that you're going to miss?
I didn't realize, as a fan, I never really went to training camp. It just was always like a drive. My dad wasn't into it. For whatever reason, the way I was brought up, we never went to it. So when I started covering the team 2 years ago in 2018, that was my first training camp where I really got to see the way that it worked. And I can't believe in 2 years how much I've fallen in love with St. John Fisher and the whole experience of it. Because like you mentioned, it's such a unique experience. For fans especially, to be able to be up close and personal every day with all of these players especially this time, with you finally have like a borderline. Some people are higher on him than others, but a borderline franchise quarterback in Josh Allen and all these high-profile players and draft picks that you can kind of interact with and spend time with and watch up close and personal. And yeah, you're right. For fans, that's going to get taken away this year, and it's such a bummer. And for me personally, like I'm just going to miss. I'm going to miss St. John Fisher, man. Like that experience, even like the staying overnight in the dorms and that whole thing was super cool. I grew to really enjoy it and look forward to it. And the fan interaction in Rochester, with people that came from all over the place, and even like at some of the restaurants and in town, I really enjoyed that. And now I will say this: we have learned recently like what training camp's going to look like a little bit more in Buffalo, and there will be a pretty nice allotment of reporters at training camp in Orchard Park. Now we don't know what the practices are going to look like, and if we're going to be given the traditional access to the entirety of practice. But that's at least good news, because we'll at least in less than 2 weeks here have something significant to talk about when these guys get back to practice and back to camp.
Most definitely. And if I wasn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there something today about like a new helmet that they released? Is that what the NFL is going to go with? It came across my timeline briefly, but obviously with the intent to kind of act like a mask.
The Oakleys?
Yeah, I wonder if that's going to actually be mandated or if that's going to be a player's choice. But it's going to be along the face mask, which, I remember hearing J.J. Watt talk about, the wearing a mask or a mandatory visor even, and how that impacts a lot of players and the way they play the game. And I know we have to make concessions and what's going on right now, but if you're not able to go out there with that stuff on your helmet and play the way that you're able to play, that's going to be interesting to see how everybody handles that.
Oh yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever played hockey, but you play street hockey and don't have a mask on, and then you go and play ice hockey and you have a visor on. It's a completely different game. It's a completely different look. It's a completely different feel. So for these players to have to go from wearing nothing in front of them to wearing a visor, a face shield, and then you have to have your mouth covered up, it's going to impact them differently.
No doubt about it. What about putting them in the bubbles, like when they do the soccer at the Sabres games?
The bubbles?
At the Sabres games, they'll put people in like bubbles, and they'll have to play like soccer against each other. So they'll be constantly like falling all over the place, because it's like half sumo wrestling, half like bubbles. I mean, and I'm just saying, I know that I think Josh is tough to bring down right now. I think if you put him in a bubble, he's going to be basically impossible. I think that would work to our advantage.
Yeah, they should at least give it a look in training camp. I agree.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the answer I was looking for, Matt. Thank you. SyracuseUp.com. Sign off on that one, right?
He said SyracuseUp.com. Look at you.
I'm giving you your dad.
I like it.
Like Pat Moran was the first one to find Macy's Place Pizza. I was the first one to find Matt Parrino.
just take ownership of it, man. If you just put your name on it.
If you say that you started something nowadays and you just do it in a pocket where you only like have your supporters and fans, I mean, you can really push anything.
Yeah, you can own your narrative. Dude, there's a buck.
It happens online every day.
The $1:45 left in this first half, 23-3. Dallas is driving. This is bad news. This is bad news for the Bills right now.
If you had the choice, Matt, what would you rather do? Go to a doctor's appointment or live through this first half again?
Probably live through this first half again. I mean, especially right now, I'm not trying to really go to the doctor. If I don't have to, I'm not trying to go to like the doctors or dentists. Like, there's this disease out there, if you've heard of it. It's called COVID-19.
Yeah, tell me more about it.
At all costs. Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us are talking about that enough.
Seriously. And
driving.
Another drive. On the flip side, what if it was the doctor of thugonomics, John Cena, and he was going to tell you that UFC is the one that's really fixed? How about those judges scores this weekend?
Great segue. The most overrated, overhyped WWE wrestler in history, John Cena. You can keep John Cena. He's a bum.
He's like the Hulk Hogan of the modern era. Trayvon Mullen was sacked, by the way.
Oh my
Don't even say that. Like, I just dropped some heresy. They both had their 5 moves of doom, or they set up like their final thing. They both are like super musclehead, like face the
Here's the thing,
companies
though.
for like
Here's
a
the thing.
decade.
I respect the comparison, but that
They were
is
both
absolute...
Vince McMahon's #1 guy for like a decade plus.
But there's
And
no
then they
Cena.
both eventually moved on to something bigger because they were both such superstars. Hulk
There's no
Hogan was the
Cena.
WCW. John Cena
No.
was Hollywood.
No.
But
no,
see,
no.
like, oh my God, it
No.
wasn't cringe when Hulk Hogan dropped a promo. Like, in hindsight, looking at it now, like maybe like the late 80s, early 90s stuff, yeah, maybe a little bit. But when you were in the moment with Hogan, it always felt like, you know,
60-yard field
this
goal.
is cool. Wow.
Everything with Cena feels cool. Are you kidding me?
Nothing with Cena feels cool. Nothing. Especially that weird haircut that he's rocking these days, bro.
Okay, I
Dial
will
that
now. See, this is where you versus me. See, I can admit, like, you know, when my size of the week, I will admit that John Cena's haircut right now is just so questionable, and that's all you can really say. I think that he's kind of like still struggling after his breakup from Nikki Bella. I think that's what happened. But
You know what? They both live about 30 minutes from me apart. So I'm going to get them together. We're going to have a final match. Terry Bollea versus John Cena.
did Hulk Hogan ever propose at WrestleMania to his sweetheart? I don't think so.
I think he tried
No.
to like steal Macho Man's girl.
Yeah,
I
he
think
did.
was successful.
Hulk
That's
Hogan
baller,
was,
dude. Like,
Hulk Hogan was the OG Mr. Steal Your Girl. He did it to like the. He was literally. What were they? The powerhouses? I can't even remember right now. I'm blanking.
oh no, what were
Him and
they?
Macho Man. The superpowers.
No.
What was their name?
maybe. No.
That's what I'm saying. They had you had when Triple H and Stone Cold did it. They were the 2-man power trip. But Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage were the Mega Powers. Sorry, I said the superpowers.
Oh.
The Mega
Yeah,
Powers.
the Mega Powers. Yep.
Yeah, what a lame name. But that's beside the point. I think I agree in the comments. Great comment section, very lively. Thugonomics Cena was the way to go. They should have never dropped that gimmick. And if they were going to drop it, they should have come up with something way better than, you know, whatever the heck he does now. What's his thing?
Hustle, loyalty, respect.
Oh my God.
Hustle, loyalty, respect is like bad. Those are the things we want to frame as bad in 2020.
Yes.
Okay.
Also,
I just want to see where society's gone. That hustle, loyalty, and respect are no longer good things.
those are implied. Those are you should already have that. If you need to be told to have all that stuff, that's just the lamest message I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, I'd rather yes.
If you have to be
Travis,
told
I
to
would
trust the
rather
process, some people could think that was lame, but you know, sometimes you just got to be reminded.
I agree, but you can't argue with the results. Anyway, I will say.
I do agree.
I will agree
Thugonomics
with
Cena
Travis.
had a lot more titles. He had a lot more titles, so those results did speak for themselves. 16-time
Travis.
champion, John Cena. Tied with only Ric Flair, the GOAT.
Oh yeah, now we're measuring wrestling greatness by how many fake championships they were.
Just another
handed.
example of how WWE is so much better than UFC. I mean, is there a 16-time champion in UFC that I don't know about?
Please.
But
please.
What's the granddaddy of
John
them all for
Jones.
UFC? I'm pretty sure
John Jones is
UFC is basically like Dana White is just a parent, and he's calling everybody's parents to see if they can have play dates. That's all Dana White is. Oh, can Masvidal come for a play date? So and so had to cancel. Like, yeah, he can. Like, so okay, so we're gonna have the event. Like, that's not a backlash. That's not a Royal Rumble. Let's face it, WWE, everybody's best friends, and then they turn on each other. I don't see that in the UFC. I don't see any best friends turning on each other in the UFC. I don't see any best friends bitter rivals.
You know what you should add to that when you call him a 16-time champion? You call him a 15-time or 16-time loser. Okay? Because he lost that championship 16 times.
That's fine.
Yeah, how long did
That's
he
what
hold
happens when you transcend generations.
I'm a
Oh my
longevity guy.
God. Yo, Dan, can you boot this guy out of the chat? So
Yo,
we have our own?
Pat, tell me right now that UFC. Tell me with a straight face that UFC would not be better if it had a Money in the Bank.
I mean, you can't really do that because it's actually real fighting. And so, like, you can't-
excuse me?
So you
Are you
can't
saying
just,
that?
like,
Are you saying that Edge and that Batista didn't lay out Edge before CM Punk cashed in? Are you saying that Mark Henry didn't absolutely decimate the Big Show before Daniel Bryan came in and captured his first World Heavyweight title?
Oh, we went down a very, very, very weird
Yeah, we did.
street here. We veered way out.
I mean, it just sounds to me. It sounds to me like you're confronted with a mountain of evidence, and you don't have your mountain climbing equipment.
See, I'm gonna chime in
So now
for Matt here. Maniac, I'm gonna chime in for Matt. I'm a longevity guy. How long did he hold the titles for? That you had to lose it 16 times. It's about how long you retain the title.
That's
Yeah,
the
that's
difference.
about-
That's the difference. Actually, losing a title in WWE is cool. And that means you're a good company guy. That's the difference between UFC and WWE. People are selfish in the UFC. They want to keep the titles. They don't want to build other stars. John Cena was building other stars. You don't get a CM Punk without John Cena. You don't get a Randy Orton without John Cena. He is a perfect foil for them.
John the rematch Cena.
Dude, I would love for you to wear a John Cena t-shirt.
Wait.
From now on.
No, what do you mean? I should have just completely in his outfit
Touchdown.
with the armbands. Let's go! And the WWE gets us back in this game. They go from down 20, all of a sudden only down 13, gents. Big first drive there.
This is what they needed. They needed.
Did the shades get us back in? I was too busy talking about WWE.
Yeah, you got real emotional there for a minute.
Well, let's be fair. I get emotional about everything, so let's not just
That's
act like it was just the WWE.
23-10. Got 25 minutes left to play. Wow, a lot to ask. Tyler
3
Bass.
to 10.
He's going to be the end of the Stephen Hauschka era. Tyler Bass.
What do you think?
I mean, Matt, how could it not? I mean, I think that they bring Bass in. They're gonna make sure he's not a head case, which is the best you can do before the regular season. They clearly cannot keep them both. He used a draft pick on a kicker. Pretty safe to say that they intend, barring Bass being a head case, should be on. I mean, I was looking. I mean, like this guy, like he's missed short, like from inside 50. Like I don't see any other kickers doing that, and I respect Stephen Hauschka, Hausch money. He's made some big kicks for the Bills. I do not want to treat him with disrespect, but if you can improve a good team, then sometimes you got to make tough decisions.
I just think that Sean McDermott probably went back and watched that Houston game a million times and never wants to be in a situation again this upcoming season where he's on the road and has a game that's within reach and he can't send his kicker out to tie the game from about, I think it would have been like a 55-yard kick or whatever it was.
To win it, right?
No, it would have been to tie it, but where they went for it on fourth down and then ended up.
Oh yes, and they only got stacked. You're right.
Yes,
yep.
That can't happen anymore. And I think you look at Tyler Bass and his leg is just unreal. I mean, Heath Farwell was just raving about it a couple weeks ago about like watching him at the Senior Bowl, and the dude just has a booming leg, and I think you want to get a guy like that in here. Yeah, so I'm with you. I think Tyler Bass wins that competition. And I think also Stephen Hauschka, like you said, like there's been little spurts of time where he hasn't been very reliable. And Heath Farwell mentioned his 4 for 4 in the playoff game. But when you can't send a guy out on the field because you don't think he has the leg for it, and you're at a disadvantage. And this team, and also the way this team plays, and everybody's hoping, in Bills Mafia is hoping that this offense is going to be better this year. They finished 23rd in the league last year. So you're hoping that they can kind of get more into that top 15 and maybe start to make more plays and have, let the team rely on the offense at times. But you know how Sean McDermott is. You know how he likes to play games and not turn the ball over, play good defense. And in those games, you need field goal kickers that you can trust. And so I think that Bass I think Bass is going to be given every opportunity to win that job, but he's got to look good for whatever this offseason they get, or this preseason and training camp, and how many chances he gets.
Yeah, and so what? As of right now, what's your money on for this preseason situation? I feel like we're looking at hypothetically maybe 1 or 2 games. So for a situation where you want to see Bass in, game speed situations, etc. I mean, it's going to be really tough to see if he's got the nerves about it, because let's face it, that's what it is at the NFL level. Wyo was like the most accurate kicker in the history of the planet when he was at Florida State. That's a Tampa Bay, and he couldn't make a 46-yard. Like that was literally just the facts. So, it's going to be very interesting.
I think there'll be 2 preseason games. I know the Players Association doesn't want them, but I think that it is important for the league and the individual organizations to test their protocols. Like, I mean, do you really want to go into week 1 in September and having not gone on the road at all yet and figured out how you're going to do this thing and how you're going to stay safe? I mean, dude, I'm coming out with a story this week. I'm working on it right now with a accompanying podcast. And, cheap shout out. Shout out to Buffalo Bills Football Podcast. Look it up. It's on all your platforms. Myself and Ryan Talbot. We have a live show every week, and we're doing all these types of different podcasts, so check that out. But this week, I actually had a really cool conversation with a UV professor that's an epidemiologist, and he's been one of the leading local authorities on the coronavirus and what this is all looking like. And we're talking about, like, week 2, the Bills are going to Miami, which is literally one of the hottest beds on the planet right now for this disease. So, like, you really are telling me that the first time the Bills are going to be asked to travel as a team with probably over 100 people, and if not 100, it's going to be somewhere a little bit below that. You're going to send them into Miami without ever having done a practice run? So I just think that there's way too many questions and way too many things that you got to work out to just ask these teams to just go at it week 1 or week 2 of the regular season.
We are inside the code zone here with Matt Parrino, Dan Gambino, and myself, Maniac from Trainwreck Sports. Bills were down 23-3. They got a touchdown. They got to stop, and they are back in the red zone. With shades on the line. Let's get those comments in. Who is going to score this touchdown, folks? Who is going to get us back in this game? By the way, I have the solution for the week 2 Miami thing, just like I did with the bubble. Ready? Hashtag Bills blimp.
Bills blimp, he says. 1st and 10. Allen taking off.
15. Hides at the 11. But what you do is you move the Bills Performance Center into a blimp, and then you fly it to Miami. Distance is not an issue for blimps. I've looked into it. Long distance is okay. 2nd and 2. Shotgun. Allen over the middle. Caught. Goal line. Touchdown, Buffalo. Brew McCoy. Brewing up the score. And don't go anywhere, folks. This could be the comeback game for the virtual Bills.
What were they down? 23-3? What was the worst of it?
Up 20-0 and 23-3.
Wow. Look at this.
They are back in it, folks. Tell your friends. We've got people outside the Facebook stream, and they can't get back in. Tickets are no good. It's okay.
Jump over the fences. Just like
break it down.
17. Oh, yeah. I'll never forget. It was... Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead.
No, I was at that game. Everybody always laughs about it, but I was literally at the top of the bowl with my 2 uncles and my dad. And so we got to witness, which I thought was equally as entertaining as the comeback itself, like a couple thousand people, like Walking Dead style, just walking over each other, scaling these giant fences to get back into the stadium. It was insanity.
Well, there were 3 million people at that game, right, Matt?
I know. That's why it's so weird when I tell the story, because people are always like, yeah, right, you're at that game. I really was. I swear.
Oh, I believe
that's because there's so many people. There's so many people who say they're at it. It's all the other liars that
I was at a bar with my parents and my grandparents, and
you had to go to a bar.
Leave. You had to go to a bar, and it was in Buffalo. They had that feed, Intertech or whatever it was, the big satellite.
Sack.
Was it EpiPen?
Junior.
No, Joyner
Junior. Not hit by the EpiPen quite yet. Gentlemen, Uncle Mo sitting squarely with McDermott right
Yeah, they just forgot how to play football, Dallas, in the second half so far. So after the first quarter, what's it been? Been all of our defense.
Oh, comeback glasses can only be given away when we need a score. Interesting. Although yesterday we gave them away on the last drive, and the first play was a pick. So then 2nd and 19, we got at the 21-yard line. 90 seconds to go here in the third quarter, where the Bills are seizing back momentum here in Jerry World. Now it's going to be 3rd and 15. Let's get the hearts up in the chat. No 68 plus ones yet. Shotgun for Dak. He'll take the snap. He's running. He throws it over the middle. That is going to be short, folks. 4th down coming up. Josh and Co. will get the ball back in this third quarter with a shot to take the lead.
Don't call it a comeback.
I'm a bass man.
The bass man.
Was that a play on Billy Gunn's theme song back in the day?
Yes. I'm working on the edit, Parrino, but I really want, because I'm a bass man.
That's high quality content right there.
Do you remember? Yeah, of course. You remember the verbiage on like the other part of the song?
No.
It's just like so ridiculous. It's like, I like to squeeze them. But you gotta I gotta figure out I like to kick them. I like to boot them.
I like to drill them.
Yes.
Just keep going. Fourth quarter. Get the fours up in the chat. We need a big close here.
Wow.
Big close. And this is why I don't go anywhere, folks.
You could witness NFQL history here, Matt Parrino.
Here's the thing, though. I think the Bills are going to need more than 7 because I think the Cowboys will score at least one more time in this game.
Yeah, I think 10. I think 10's going to have to do it.
So a touchdown on this drive would be pretty massive.
Oh, no. Hitting in the eye. That's never good for anybody.
Yeah, they heard me talking WWE. They're doing a wrestling match. Bad. It's crazy up in this place.
Oh, believe me, I know how that goes. I know how everything else goes, too. There's Josh Allen over the middle. Is that Knox or Brew?
It's Brew getting us over midfield. Do not go anywhere, folks. Bills fully on the comeback train here. We got comeback shades still up, so get those comments in. Who's it going to be? Oh, you didn't know?
Loved it. No, that was the golden age of wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was a superstar. WWE basically rolled at the craps table rolled a 7 5 straight times with the superstars right when they needed to, literally on the brink of extinction.
Let me ask you this: who in the modern WWE, we're talking the last 10 years, and not counting Brock Lesnar,
Okay.
who do you think would have been a legit star in that era, along with all those guys? I'm talking even Kurt Angle level star.
But that, oh my gosh, bobbled and picked. It's going back to the house. Gosh, trying to run him down. He's not going to get there. Pick. 6 down the bobble. All right, still 13 minutes to go. As far as who could be a superstar nowadays back in that era, it's kind of limited. Now, you got to remember, too, is back in that era, it was basically you couldn't be below 250, 270, and not even talking about certain steroids and everything that was happening or whatever. Who could hang on? I mean, you could have a Drew McIntyre, the guy who's the champion now. I think he could have hung around as a villainous guy back then. The characters were a lot more permeating too, as well back then. Because these people didn't the characters didn't have social media. They didn't have as many public meet and greets with cameras all over and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Drew McIntyre to me would have been a hardcore Holly.
Yes.
In that era.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. But the WWE did an extremely, I said it was better than the UFC, which I'll stand by. But if I do have to admit a fault, and again, kudos to me for admitting this shortcoming. It just really shows, how great I am. WWE has done an basically the worst possible job of building new stars. That's not to say that they don't have stars. I think Seth Rollins is awesome. I think AJ Styles is awesome. I think Daniel Bryan's awesome. I like Nakamura. I like a ton of wrestlers that are going right now, but I'm a wrestling fan. You need superstars to get people who are outside of wrestling excited. People like The Rock, people like The Undertaker, people like even people like your favorite John Cena. Not gonna snap for Allen's happy feet. Okay, but instead, since they continuously shoehorn old stars and everything into WrestleMania and everything like that, and I'm not even talking about Edge, who came back this year. That was great. That was actually a really good move. It's just inhibited the growth of new true superstars. That's what it's done. Uh-oh. Incomplete. Pick 6 for Dallas clinched at least a push for the over-under, but the Bills will be forced to punt here.
I lost the. Oh, here we go. Feed's back. I didn't see the last 2 minutes of gameplay.
You didn't miss much.
Let me sum it up for you. Oops.
Yeah.
So I hit the marching band.
So we're getting word from the truck that the Chiefs won, the Pats won, the Titans won, Cleveland lost. This playoff push for the Bills, Maniac, is not looking good if they lose this game.
Not looking good. We need this defense to keep doing what it's doing and get a stop.
How many Super Bowl titles do they have?
Oh, the virtual Bills?
The virtual Bills?
0.
Oh, so they didn't win that game? I predicted them to win?
Nope, they did not win it. They lost.
Wow.
They actually lost pretty much kind of similar to this game, except minus the Dak Prescott 80-yard touchdown. The other QB had 3.5 yards per attempt and less than 150 yards.
Yeah, it was just the turnovers. The same thing that's been killing them throughout this whole season of 2023. It's turnover city.
I'm a nice man. The only thing that makes me feel better right now.
Oh, goodness gracious.
That was there's only one wrestler from and the Attitude Era was actually for ridiculous wrestlers it wasn't really the peak of ridiculous wrestlers, it was the early 90s for that, but out of all the characters from it's just so over the top, just ridiculous things, but Mr. Ass, obviously, it's a ridiculous name. Has Mr. Ass on his trunks, his finishing move is the Famouser, which is, slamming your head between his ass and the mat. The only more ridiculous wrestler from the Attitude Era, I want to say, and there were a lot, you can go Viscera,
Val Venus.
Brood, I had to say Val Venus. It never occurred to me that Val Venus was actually a porn star made into a character. I just thought he was this super sex obsessed dude who was just constantly having sex with her, but no, he was actually a porn star and a wrestler.
Yeah.
No. At first, I'm 3rd and 18. No, they're gonna have to punt it away. Okay. They'll punt it here. They won't go for it. If they do, I'm literally giving up on Madden, even though I already did give up when they gave Reed Ferguson a 35. I wrote a very mean-worded tweet.
Did you have Reed Ferguson on a call with you?
Yeah. He told us that everybody has to do their 111.
Oh, nice.
I thought there was some good insight. Yeah, the Bills were losing the whole game when he played with us, and then they came back at the end. Maybe you'll have a Reed recipe coming up here.
I don't think so. I don't think this one's gonna be. But hey,
you gotta believe, man. Believe.
Did they miss the extra point? Oh no, there was 23. It was 23, right? Or no, wait, did they miss the
Touchdown
extra
there.
point?
They went for a 2-point
They
conversion.
went for two. They went for two.
Yep.
Oh, running for it.
There he
Yeah.
goes. Oh man, he keeps getting popped too. Dude's got to learn how to slide.
Extra mo-
Gotta be more responsible. Oh, Allen running for it. Speaking of lack of responsibility, my goodness, Joshua Patrick Allen doing.
What happened
Uh-oh,
to
The middle name
Davis
came
and
out.
Hodgins? Are they both out of here? They both gone?
No, they're
They're
both. It's just it's been that kind of game. I mean, McCoy's basically been the only receiver I've seen. I haven't seen Diggs make a play really either.
Deion Dawkins gets some big dollars too.
Yep, he got extended.
Oh,
Oh my
it's
God!
almost
Audacious. That should have been a pick six burial right there. So you get the Undertaker buried alive.
looking back at those, and maybe this is a faux pas because you probably still love him, but how cringy were his whole angles back in the day?
Oh, they were. I mean, they were all
popping.
cringe like ridiculous things. Like basically, I mean,
The three main guys stand up. Like
Look at
anything that
this
I go
punt.
back and watch now. Oh wow, that's crazy. Like Triple H, The Rock, and Austin. Anything I watch now, like clips on Facebook or whatever, I still think is super cool. But most of the other stuff, I'm like, how did I watch this for? Like, I think I watched it for like 5 years.
the biggest thing about wrestling, though, and this is versus other sports, I will stand by this claim. Even though sports can have great reactions, this wrestling moments can be immortalized by a good crowd reaction. That was a lot of the Stone Cold, The Rock, like those eras. Like even Mankind winning the title when Stone Cold helps him, like that crowd is unglued. Like it's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh,
So,
yeah. It's like any ECW old school matches. The crowd's just into it. Everyone's throwing beer all over the place. I mean, you can put that in a bubble, man.
and I watch that, and I watch like European sports as well. I really think Bill's Mafia needs to step up its like chanting game. Like I think chanting would be more intimidating than making like a lot of noise, to be honest. Like if we were all chanting the same thing, I feel like it would be a lot more intimidating than making noise. Because let's face it, we did try to set the sound record, but we weren't even close to Seattle. So clearly NFL teams playing louder and louder. Oh,
Ooh,
Dak
Sack
Prescott.
City.
Let's go.
Oh,
Or like sack Prescott. Let's go. 7:30 to go. I'll tell you, this game still ticking. Lots of time. 60 minutes
Who's
theme.
50?
Play right now, Alexa.
who was that? 53.
That was Zalando McLean, I believe. Not a face you're familiar with, unfortunately. Oh yeah, we also say whenever McLean gets a sack that the quarterback die hard. Welcome to the party, pal.
Jacoby McLean.
Kobe McLean. I always do it. Zalando, Zacoby. Very jealous of anybody else with ZAC to start their name. Gotta call spade spade. 7 minutes to go. Still basically a year in Madden time.
Who's returning kicks here? You need a big one.
I want to say McKenzie.
Okay. The disrespect of AJ Epinesa taking Lorenzo Alexander's number.
You think that is disrespectful?
I mean, not really, I guess. He's not going to go on the wall, I would imagine, but feels disrespectful.
I forgot that Zoe had an interception on Tom Brady in 2018. I was rewatching the highlights.
Dude, he was so good in that game.
Yeah.
He had to fill in for Milano, who got hurt. And he was just amazing in that game.
I would say the one thing about Lorenzo Alexander, despite him not having a long Bills career, was like whenever it was a big game, he was always at his best. I feel like he played like Houston, played the Jacksonville game. I feel like if I remember correctly, he was our highest rated defensive player. Allen going long, sideline, can it be holding in bounds? Out of bounds. But yes, I believe he was our highest rated player in the Jacksonville game for our defense. But yeah, Zoe just always got it done.
That Tennessee game last year too.
Yeah.
Quiet, sneaky, big game and I think he had like 5 tackles, a sack. Like he was all over the field.
I'm going to talk about training camp. I mean, at the Young Bull at Oliver or whatever, but last year, I am not exaggerating. Lorenzo Alexander's biceps were like the size of my torso.
To be fair, that's not super hard to accomplish.
They would like a 40-inch bicep, basically.
Yeah.
They were the biggest guns I've ever seen. And I told him that straight to his face, and he just goes, "Yep."
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, he had nothing to... Sometimes that's the thing. He likes to talk, but sometimes I feel like if you just say exactly what he agrees with, he doesn't feel the need to like say more about it. Offsides, okay. APA. Will the Bills get the ball back with a legit shot here to win? That's the story we are waiting on. Or will Josh Allen be at the airport early saying, "Hello, all respect to Brett Hill." 2nd and 3. Inside the 20. Okay, Kozaks. And they went down to under 4 minutes to go in Dairy World. Josh took the snap. Shotgun. Looking left. Completion to Knox. He's inside the 10. Inside the 5. He will be hauled down, but not before picking up a first down. Under 4 minutes to go.
Still running. Gotta go.
Tick, 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 tick. 25. They're going to run it. They need to get to the end zone. He's going to get there. Touchdown, Buffalo. I mean, did he get one? It cut out before in the video where he did. There's the touchdown. There's the celebration. And the Bills are back within 1 score. I don't know what that dance is, but I know he looks good doing it.
Big game for Zach Moss, huh? Getting it done in the red zone.
Now you'll have a situation where the Bills probably won't onside kick it because they'll tell themselves that they have a lot of time left. And if they can get a 3 and out, we will have me standing up in the booth. And everyone loves that. Oh, don't you dare.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Drama.
Wow.
3:20 left.
How many timeouts left for the Bills?
I think all
All 3 timeouts. We're going to have turnover shades again in the chat. Do you smell what the Bills are cooking? I couldn't agree more. The Bills are about to come back, and that's the bottom line. The Stone Cold said so. Yeah, how many people in UFC have good catchphrases again, Matt? Because I know, like, they're always doing the catchphrases, right, in the UFC, and, like, the really good, like, branding and everything.
Like, it's, like, actually about getting hit in the face as opposed to...
Yeah.
Instead of getting suplexed off the top rope. Dak is sacked! Asante Samuel Jr. brings him down! What a big play for that Bills defense.
That's not Vontae Davis.
Wow. Big play.
2021 AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year right there. Asante Samuel Jr.
So this team loves to blitz the DBs.
We told you, but you gotta like see it to believe it. It's like Jurassic Park. Dak handing it off. Can they get a stop on the run play? They do. Who filled that hole right there? Was it our guy? Bubba B.
The chat is just automatically doing the 70 minus ones there, Maniac. They know.
Let's go. Let's go.
2-minute warning, all 3 timeouts left.
That's an eternity.
They haven't used them yet. 3rd and 16. Cowboys need the 35. They're in single back, 2 receivers. They're going to hand it off. They're going to give it up. They're going to opt to run the clock. McDermott will take his time out and clap 17 times. Let's go. Cowboys will be forced to punt. 1:57 to go. Folks, tell your friends what is happening. The Bills have a shot here. McKenzie will field it, I believe, at the 30. No, that's not McKenzie. Is that Pittman? Yes, it was Pittman.
Maniac, we're going to do a 3-pack. We're going to do a 7-1-6-day 3-pack up for grabs. Go ahead and comment who's going to score the winning touchdown. Tag your friend if your friend's in here as well. You're both going to get a 3-pack courtesy of Code Sox.
Three-pack attack is underway in the chat. Let's go. Bills had the ball at the 38-yard line. Over 100 seconds to go. Allen over the middle. Bobbled. Not intercepted. I was waiting for that. Ox was hit as he tried to haul it in and unfortunately came incomplete. 2nd and 10. 1:44 to go. Bills still at the 38-yard line. Allen takes the shotgun snap. He completes it. It'll be a short completion. They'll just take that quick timeout. That was odd.
Yeah, didn't like that decision there. But bad clock management.
Very bad. 3rd and 4.
Gotta get up to the line now.
What can they make up for with a good organized play to pick up a first down? 48-yard line? They can. And now they'll go no huddle. Down to 112.
Take a shot. Take a shot.
Hobbled over the middle. Incomplete. Okay, so that'll work. Basically about another 7 seconds off the clock, but it stops. 74 seconds left here at Jerry World. 29-24 Dallas. Bills at midfield. Shotgun snap to Allen. Surveying the field. He's going to run with it. He's going to tuck it. Not a good decision. You're waiting in the spy, but is there a face mask? There will be a humongous call. Josh Allen maybe not making the right decision, but forcing the Cowboys defenders to make a play, and they err there with a huge personal foul penalty. They'll be down to the 36-yard line, gentlemen.
This is just high drama. I did not know what I was signing up for tonight. This is wild.
70 seconds to go. Allen throwing it right. He's got a
it.
receiver on the corner out. We are inside the Code Sox red zone. This Bills offense 13 yards away from the goal line. 13 yards away from a comeback. 13 yards away from glory. It's time to go on a galaxy quest. Let's activate the Omega 13 and get these virtual Bills in the end zone, Dan.
Oh, love it.
Let's go. Got 1 minute left. Time no longer a factor, folks. I mean, barring ridiculous play calling. It's 1st and 10. They can get a first down if they get inside the 4. Allen with a quick hit on the middle. Fumble. He didn't even come and catch the ball. No. No. How was that even a catch? He didn't even have it. You guys see this? I just can't believe that he secured the ball and made a football move there, but they're not going to overrule that.
Ooh, that was
I mean, I feel like this real life is definitely get overturned, but that's not real life. Pain is real. Pain is real. My life is real.
You know what else? You know what's not real, Maniac? Wrestling. But you can keep hoping and dreaming.
You know what's not real is Dana White's dream to ever be as powerful as Vince. And it's just the semantics of this one. They're still going to run the ball. We got to hope for a fumble. They're going to pass it.
Oh, he's going to throw it. Look at this guy.
You can't fumble that. You can't fumble that.
Well, they're gonna have to line up.
Now I have a feeling they're going to, like, somehow the computer's going to realize that it can, even though it just did that nonsense. It would have absolutely been a real-life fumble. Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
That would have been a safety. This thing would have gotten real fun.
Oh, we got something going on here. I hope for a safety here.
Fumble. Nope.
Let me ask you this: if you're playing your brother in Madden, you're in a situation with like under 20 seconds to go, do you pass there?
Hey, you gotta run up the score. It's like the BCS. Other championship series.
No, you kneel it. You kneel it and let the clock run down slowly and just sit there and stare at it.
McDermott's going to shake his head. He's not going to do a clipboard throw. He's going to hold on to his clipboard. But unfortunately, the Bills are now barely hanging on to this playoff picture in the AFC in this 2023 season. I can't believe they dropped such a dud with our boy Parrino in the house. 20-0. Bills did go on basically a 24-9 run, but unfortunately coming up just short of the Cowboys here in Jerry World. They fall 29-24. Well, Parrino, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. This was a fun time. You know, John Cena sucks and wrestling is fake. But you have yourself a great night. I'm looking forward to training camp starting in less than 2 weeks. Syracuse.com, NewYorkUpstate.com, at Matt Parrino. You saw on Twitter. Nice optics there from Maniac and the crew. But no, it's a fun time, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, sir. Best of luck
Yeah.
this year. Hopefully everything can get back to normal at some point in time, although it doesn't seem like it's going to happen in the foreseeable future. But thanks for joining us, and enjoy your time with the boys and giving us good content.
Chanting John Cena sucks is one of the best things in wrestling. So huge compliment there from Matt Parrino, big WWE guy. Huge shout out to him for joining us. Huge shout out to my co-host Dan Gambino, as always, for putting up with my nonsense. Again, a huge shout out to Matt Parrino for joining us. As always, a huge shout out to the Gratwick crew, Chris and Andrea in the truck, and as always, a huge, really Facillo huge shout out to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch family checking in on these Bills, following along. They are now 8-6, but it's the road to the playoffs, and hopefully they'll still have a shot at those. Still some games left on the schedule. We're Wednesday at the Dolphins. As you know, when it's Gratwick Gaming, Code Sox, and Trainwreck Sports, these crazy comebacks, these Broom McCoy touchdowns, these ridiculous plays that have us screaming, these giveaways, most importantly, this train never